light, so cold, sleep is nice. So tired, my eyes fight, they just wanna close back up tight. Get up, put it on, hard work at the crack of dawn. This life ain't for the weak ones, no, this life pure only for the strong. Feeling slow, shake it off, don't got time for negative thoughts. Red sight, got the dot, shoot my shot, I want the top. Never lost, got my plot, know my story, I know my boss. I will fight against the clock, time's a limited gift from God. One day I will have my victory, crush all my enemies so viciously. Work so hard my hands are blistering, and they will carve my name in history.
What is up, everybody? This is Nick Fiore of FioriousNation of YouTube. This is Forbidden Podcast episode 39. It is Friday, August the 28th of 2026, almost the end of August, almost the end of the summer. I am Nick Fiore, co-host number 1 of Forbidden Podcast. Next to me, co-host number 2, Adam Carl. It is All In weekend, if you even realize it was All In this weekend, but nonetheless, Adam Carl, how are we doing here?
Doing good. Fantastic.
I wish this was fantastic though. All In.
If all
Man, the build. It looks like a. I don't know what you think. Does All In this year or Sunday night in Wembley feel like more like a house show than a big show of the year? Because I mean, my goodness, the build has been absolutely horrendous. One of the worst All In builds I've ever seen.
It's just so atrocious, just so boring.
We had a boring go-home show Wednesday. They have, like, what, 4 matches on the pre-show? And, I mean, we'll get some debuts, but one of them is going to potentially be on the pre-show leading into the main show. We're going to talk about it, because you'll know what I mean. But before we begin, we might as well begin with the All-In talk. But right before we do that, make sure you hit that like on the video and subscribe to FioriousNation. Helps in the YouTube algorithm, and hit the bell for all notifications once you do subscribe to FioriousNation as well. Bottom left, my X at FiorioNick579. Go follow me on X, and go follow Adam Carl on X at Adam Carl 2005 as well. TikTok FioriousNation, Facebook Nicholas Fiore 31, and Instagram at Nicholas Fiore 2014. So. First things first, AEW All In 2026 at Wembley Stadium, man. Low effort build, and I actually have the match card for All In. Listen to this. So they're going to be at Wembley Stadium, third time, by the way, mind you. AEW All In, third time straight in Wembley. Well, what's the problem with that? Well, you could have done a different location instead of Wembley. And Adam Carl said it before, like when you have a pay-per-view or a PLE at like a third straight in a row, like at the same venue, that's like no wonder why interest in that is not where it needs to be.
Exactly.
Like you've said it before, I mean, he's not wrong. Tell Adam Carl when he's telling lies.
Why are you running the same building in the same city for the third time in 4 years? Like it's like there's no excitement at that point.
Yeah. Like he couldn't have done like say Dublin. If you wanted to do the UK for All In this year so bad, then you couldn't have done maybe, I don't know, like Dublin, Ireland, or could have done like Berlin, Germany. That's always a good crowd as well. Couldn't do Cardiff, Wales, or Scotland or Australia or
France.
France is another one. They're going to be in France actually October this year for Grand Slam. Early October this year.
They could do that for All In this year.
I don't get that. Or you could have done Canada. Canada's a good market. International crowd. Canada, Mexico, or hell, even Japan. You mean to tell me you couldn't done any of those, but you had to do Wembley Stadium in London this year? I don't understand that. I think after All In this year, they need to stop doing All In Wembley for a while. Seriously. It's almost like when Vince was in charge with Hell in a Cell. Or except it's not in the pay-per-view name, it's the city. Or remember when SummerSlam from 2009 to 2014 was the same city at the Staples Center in Los Angeles, California. Remember that?
Yeah, Los Angeles.
They did it for SummerSlam 09 all the way till 2014 SummerSlam. And they even did it for SummerSlam 2015 to 2018 in the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. They did the same thing there too. Though not as much as the one in Los Angeles for SummerSlam, but they did with Brooklyn too.
2015, 2018.
And 2015 to 2018. SummerSlam 2015, 16, 17, and 18, all in Brooklyn, New York at the Barclays Center. Now, granted, that is a big, popular, like, very passionate fan base market, granted, but you're also running the risk of, like you did with Los Angeles for SummerSlam, with Brooklyn for SummerSlam, like Los Angeles for SummerSlam, where you have the same city, same venue, almost every year. And over time, that gets very tired and boring. And it's the same thing applies here with All In Wembley Stadium. I think next year, if they do All In next year in Wembley, I think it's a huge mistake.
It will be a massive mistake.
Like, why not do All In next year and, like, say, I don't know, you could do Arthur Ashe. That's a big AEW staple in the Bronx in New York City, Arthur Ashe. You could do that. I know, and I know WWE owns this, but I don't think AEW will ever get this venue, unfortunately. Madison Square Garden.
Why not try? Let's see if it works.
Or a baseball stadium, Citi Field at the home of the New York Mets, or the Yankee Stadium, home of the New York Yankees. One of those could be. You could do one of those as well if they could. Like, take a chance on it. You could fill enough people, I'm sure, for an All-In show.
Yeah.
And the New York crowd is a New York-based crowd, whether it's like New York City, Brooklyn, or like near like New Jersey, like New York, New Jersey, like anywhere like the city or Brooklyn or anywhere near that area, like you're gonna get a very passionate fan base. So, like again, so this year with Wembley with All In has to be it for a while. Take a break from Wembley with All In for like at least a couple years. Take a break from it for a while, then go back to it. Like to do it every year. They did it in 2023. That was special. 2024, okay. 2026. Last year they were in Dallas. All right, it felt different. But this year again in Wembley, a third straight time. You wonder why there's no interest. And that's a big problem. For their biggest, like, All In is supposed to be AEW's WrestleMania of the year, and the interest isn't there, and then the All In build has been piss poor. That's a big problem. It's a big problem that, honestly, bro, a lot of people should be addressing, and I don't understand why. It's like a lot of people, and the sickos won't say it either, and it's sad. Like, a lot of people are not addressing the problem, and it needs to be addressed. Like, I don't know how you sit there and say, yeah, I don't have a problem with this. With AEW Wembley again. Oh, it's a great crowd. London's always a special crowd. It is, don't get me wrong, but again, you have the same venue, the same city for a wrestling show every year. That's like having pizza or tacos every day. You're eventually going to get sick and tired of it. You're going to want something different.
Yeah.
It's got to change. Next year, they cannot do Wembley again. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, dude, they need to take a break from Wembley for at least 2-3 years. At least. That's my little rant right there. I mean, I know I'm not wrong. But so far, we have 9 matches. One of them's on the pre-show. Don't be surprised if Tony Khan, dude, adds a few more to the pre-show. Don't be surprised.
He always does.
We have a pre-show match of a Trios Royale Roulette for the AEW World Trios Championship. We have 7 teams. One of them a mystery team. And I think this is where Swerve Strickland is there with Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods of the New Day. Now, I like this, but also at the end, I hate it, and you want to know why? And the reason I say that, you're bring Kofi and Woods, them going into AEW. You're debuting them in AEW on the fucking pre-show. On the pre-show. Oh, but it's the pre-show lead right to the main show. It's still on the pre-show, no matter what you put it. It's still on the pre-show. And do you know how? And for a team like Kofi and Woods to debut them on the fucking pre-show, do you know how dumb that sounds? Like, does anybody not have a problem with that?
Not just that, you have Swerve Strickland on the pre-show.
A former world champion was doing good heel work from the beginning of the year, and he's also on the pre-show. Like this, are people like this is the thing. A lot of people the sickos. It's like, oh, this is not a big deal. Like, this is not a big deal, huh? I don't get it.
Like even if the New Day comes on the main show, I think they'll enter last with them and Swerve. Even if it's on the main show, like they show up on the main show, not the pre-show itself. This match still started on the pre-show.
They say first impressions are everything, right?
So like you want to establish this trio with Kofi, Woods, and Swerve. Yet why are you starting it in a match? It's gonna be on the fucking kickoff show. And what's the teams in there or what? It's gonna be New Day and Swerve. We have the conglomeration. We have the not so demand.
Yeah,
right?
Who demanded for the not so demand in the AEW Trios roulette match? Who?
Yeah. We have the
Bang Bang Gang, Jay White, Austin Gunn, and Colton Gunn. We have Rogue Vito and
Here's
Hangman
another
Adam
one
Page.
on the pre-show. Here's another one on the pre-show. Not just Kofi and Woods and Swerve, Jay White.
Poor Jay White, man. He gets buried by Moxley a week ago on Dynamite. Now he's on the fucking pre-show.
Why are these guys on the pre-show?
Man, Jay White cannot get out of there fast enough.
We have you have the Death Riders. I think it's Claudio, Pac, and Wheeler Useless.
Wheeler Useless and the Not So Demand on the pre-show. Name me a worse combo.
Wheeler Useless and Ricochet at Wembley Stadium. Only thing that's missing is Danny Garcia.
Yeah.
At this, early prediction: Danny Garcia will be in the men's Casino Gauntlet match. You watch.
I would not be surprised if that honestly happens, bro. Oh, and we're gonna get to that too. Don't worry, folks. The conglomeration of Orange Cassidy, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong, and then we have the dogs: David Finlay, Clark Connors, and Gabe Kidd. Then we have the wildcard entrant, which I think is Swerve and the New Day, Kofi and Woods, or Austin Creed and Kofi Kingston. Either one. I think Swerve and the New Day do win the Trios Championships.
It's gonna be Austin Creed and Kofi.
Yeah, I think
because he can't have the Kingston name because
Kofi Kingston is owned by WWE. I still call him Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. It's just used to it. Not to get used to Austin Creed and Kofi, but they're either way. They're the New Day. I think the New Day and Swerve do win the Trios titles here. What they do, I don't know. Does Tony Khan even have a plan? Like, you're debuting the New Day on the pre-show. Like, they say first impressions and perception is everything. Oh, but the New Day on the pre-show? What's the big fucking deal? Wouldn't it be a lot better for the New Day to be debuting in AEW if they're coming in on the main show instead of the pre-show?
Right.
Like, do people not think about this? Oh, but it's just the pre-show, and it bleeds right into the main show.
Who gives a shit? Even if they show up on the main show itself, even if they don't show up on the pre-show itself, and it's on the main show instead, the match still started on the pre-show. So this is technically a pre-show match.
And all people are going to remember is the New Day debuting in AEW on the pre-show. That's all people are going to remember about.
Yeah. Like, here's the other thing that these sickos don't explain. Why is the match starting on the pre-show, and then with the match? But then when we imagine if you're watching All In, for example, you don't watch the pre-show. I mean, I don't watch the pre-show; it's meaningless. Like you don't watch the pre-show. And then, but then you wait for the show. You turn it on. Here's the main show starts. And then there's the match already going on. Like you're thinking to yourself, how did the match start? Like when did it start? How did it happen?
Yeah, like how we got here.
Like no entrances, no pyro, no introduction. No, it's a match already happening. The wrestler's already exhausted. Like, do you know how stupid this sounds?
Yeah. This is something the sickos think. Oh, they think it's like, oh, it's just the brush, not a big deal. Like it's okay. It's not that big of a deal. Can't overthink that. Huh?
This is ridiculous.
A team like Kofi and Woods, multi-time WWE Tag Team Champions, and Kofi Kingston, also a former WWE champion, former Intercontinental and United States champion as well. A big name team like the New Day, if they're coming into AEW, and you have them on the pre-show, like, do you know how bad of a look that is or if you have them on the main show, it's a lot better and a much bigger deal. But the pre-show?
And the same thing with
like,
Swerve.
you thought the Motor City Machine Guns coming to AEW, debuting them on fucking Collision was bad. This is worse. If they have them on the pre-show. You mean to tell me you couldn't have Kofi and Woods if you're bringing them in, have them on the main show, and have it be a lot better off? Like, this is the thing, people. This is the thing the sickos don't think about.
Literally.
Awful. Oh, Scripts in the chat, by the way. Hey, Nick and Adam, I was wondering, is your podcast every Friday or is it daily? It's once a week every Thursday/Friday, but lately been Friday lately.
Yeah.
272 subs on FioriousNation. Let's keep that going. Let's get that to more. Let's get that to 275. Hopefully by the end of the month, but we'll see. Hey guys, is this podcast weekly or daily? Weekly. 1.62k subs on Hardcore Sports. Let's keep that going as well for FioriousNation and the Hardcore Sports, man. It keeps it, those new, subscribe to the channels and hit the likes. It helps a lot in the YouTube algorithm. Make sure you go do that and share the stream out. So, Glenn, glad to have you here, Scripps. You're the man. But yeah, I think the New Day and Swerve do win the trios titles here. I don't think Hangman Page and Bro Dito retain at all. I could see Swerve and New Day win. What they do with them as trios champions, time will tell. But I don't trust Tony Khan at all to do right. Like, if he's having a New Day, this is a big team, big name team coming into AEW, and you have them on the pre-show. I don't know how. I mean, I hope I'm proven wrong, but then again, I don't trust Tony Khan to do right with anybody, like, to come into AEW. And it's two more ex-WWE names coming into AEW as well. It feels like more and more as weeks go by, more so AEW becoming nowadays a WWE landfill. Like, if I want to watch this, I'll go watch WWE on Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. It really feels like a WWE landfill, if you ask me, bro. And not just Kofi and Woods coming in, possibly. Ilya Dragunov, Sheamus.
I mean, it's not their fault that there's no one else that will pay them more money. It's not their fault WWE asked them to take a fucking pay cut.
Well, TKO is asking them to take a pay cut because they're in so much fucking debt.
It's not their fault.
With
like,
the
where
merger,
else would they go anyway?
With the fucking merger and bringing in Vince, and then Vince being a liability and a hindrance. And I don't think Triple H even wanted to let them go. It's like it's fucking TKO asking me to take a pay cut because they're what, $3 billion in debt? What number are they in debt?
$6 billion.
Wow, that's not going to go away anytime soon unless they sell the company again, or somebody pays off the debt, or they sell them off. Or they sell the company again, which I wouldn't be surprised if they do, because I don't think TKO and Endeavor can afford WWE. But we then go to the main show of All In. Let's start with Willow Nightingale and Mercedes Moné for the AEW Women's World Championship. Thoughts on the build and thoughts on the match, because I think their build has been okay. Not great, but okay. I do think Mercedes does win the championship here. If she does, I don't know. If she doesn't win, I don't know what we're doing. And I really feel Willow is champion just to drop it to Mercedes. And I will die on this hill, by the way. Thekla should have been the one to go into All In at Wembley as the women's champion to wrestle Mercedes. Oh, but Nick Fiore, it's heel versus heel. Thekla versus Mercedes. You can't do heel versus heel. Well, what's in the rulebook that says you can't do heel versus heel? You know, it's like, who cares if it's heel versus heel? I mean, Thekla's been putting in the work, and then she hasn't, and you take the title off her at Redemption, and you haven't, and Thekla hasn't been seen on AEW television since. Now we have Willow Mercedes just to give it to Mercedes. So Willow's pretty much a transitional champion. And I think Mercedes Moné wins this match. And if she doesn't win, I don't know what the fuck we're doing.
I mean, she has to win, right? I mean, she's been in this company for, what, 2 years?
She won the Owen. And if you have her lose to Willow, what was the point of even giving Mercedes the Owen?
Literally. Plus, Willow's going to this match apparently with a broken hand. She's going to this match injured.
Yeah. Sorry, grab my water.
Wait.
Grabbing my water a little bit. But, anyways, but yeah, with a broken hand, they could very well give Mercedes a championship. And if Will Nightingale has a bad broken hand, if it's that bad, yeah, I would say give Mercedes a championship. And I would say give it to her anyway, because what's the point of like giving her the Owen if you're not gonna put the championship on her? That doesn't make any sense. So I've got Mercedes Moné on the board here.
Yeah, like she has to win.
Yeah, otherwise, what are we doing? We then get Cope Cage, Christian Cage and Adam Copeland versus the Young Bucks for the AEW World Tag Team titles. What are your thoughts on the build in this match?
I think the build is all right. I saw the Christian promo on Dynamite. I mean, the guy is great. He's father of the century.
Yes, Christian Cage.
Yeah, father. That's all. It's all right. It's kind of boring. That like you're having these you're having them in tag team. Can they coexist matches?
They wrestled the Death Riders not long ago on Dynamite, and Edge Adam Copeland, one of the half of the tag champions, got pinned clean by Moxley on Dynamite.
Yeah.
8-man tag. Ridiculous. Yeah, the all traditional. Can they coexist, pal?
Yeah, it's kind of paint. It's like paint by the numbers, honestly. I did like the backstage promo they cut like a few weeks ago on Dynamite. They that sit down.
Yeah, that was great.
Fun. Yeah. Aside from that, I don't know what else they done with this build.
Yeah. But it should be a good match. I'm actually going to go Cope and Cage winning and retaining. There's no reason to give the Young Bucks the tag team titles. We've been there, done that.
I'm actually going with the Young Bucks winning here.
Really?
Yeah. And I'll explain. Because if you're going to give the New Day, if the New Day and Swerve do win the Trios championships, I think we could see after the match, I think we could see Swerve and the New Day come out after the match. Maybe to lay out Swerve, not to lay out the Young Bucks and Edge and Christian.
Or maybe if you don't have the New Day and Swerve on the pre-show, and it's smart to have them on the main show, not the pre-show at all. I mean, what if we have, I know you don't like the swirl as the wildcard team on the pre-show. I know it's terrible because no one cares about the swirl in AEW. But what if you have the Young Bucks or Cope and Cage, whoever wins, Swerve with the New Day confronts the winner of the tag title match, and we get that coming out of All In.
Yeah, you can definitely do that.
That would be a lot better than having a New Day on the pre-show. That's a lot better.
Maybe after that.
I would rather that.
Maybe you could set up a feud between the Elite, Swerve, and Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. Maybe that could be a big feud for the rest of 2026 heading into 2027.
could lead to Young Bucks versus Kofi and Woods at All Out in Chicago.
Yeah, you could definitely do that.
Could you imagine All Out Worlds Collide weekend? The Bucks versus the New Day and the Usos versus the Lucha Bros. Potentially.
Yeah.
That'd be something. But yeah, I actually like that idea a lot. Oh, and by the way, Scripps. And yes, I did see a little bit of TNA last night. We have a new signee to TNA. The former Zoe Stark. Now in TNA.
That's cool.
I did see last night. She, I think it's a good spot for her. I think TNA is a very good landing spot for Zoe Stark. I think she's gonna kill it there. I do. Plus, with the partnership with TNA and WWE, I think Zoe Stark's gonna do well for herself. Look at Elena Black, the former Cora Jade. And they recently turned her baby face, and she's feuding now with a heel Xia Brookside now, who's the current Knockouts champion. And Cora Jade, Elena Black cut a pretty good promo, talking about how she was humbled in Chicago in the match with Xia Brookside. It's a good promo. I think Elena Black's doing pretty good in TNA. She's one I could see back in WWE one day, and she's only 25 as Elena Black. So if Elena Black can do well, so can Zoe Stark. So I'll be rooting for Zoe Stark, and I'm happy to see her in TNA, and not AEW, where she'd get lost in the shuffle. Hey, stop throwing shade at AEW for them not getting Zoe Stark. What would she do there, exactly, in AEW if Zoe Stark signed there? Look what they've done to Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin.
They haven't appeared on television since the night they debuted. Like, why even debut them before All In if they're not going to be on the show?
And man, did the AEW sickos become real quiet with that one, huh? They said nothing. They just had their little caves and said not a peep. But they're on Collision. They haven't debuted on Dynamite yet. And wait for the right time. Why haven't you debuted them yet then, Tony?
Why couldn't he just wait until All In to debut them? Or after All In?
I don't understand that. I don't. But yeah, Zoe Stark happy she's in TNA. And Scripps even says, I forgot Motor City Machine Guns debuted in AEW. Yeah, a Collision show that nobody watches. Yeah, I don't blame you, Scripps. Then he says, Adam, do you have a YouTube channel?
No. Maybe I'll start one day.
Yeah, but Scripps says, I forgot the Motor City Machine Guns even debuted in AEW. I don't blame you, Scripps, bro. I don't blame you at all. On the show named Collision that nobody watches. I don't understand that, but get a little off track here. But Cope and Cage and the Young Bucks. You got the Young Bucks, and I got Cope and Cage. We got the yeah. I mentioned moments ago about the Casino Gauntlet. Don't be surprised if Danny Garcia is in the Casino Gauntlet. Men's Casino Gauntlet match for a future AEW World Title match. In this match, we have Andrade, El Idolo, how you know, current TNT champion, right? Versus MJF, versus Tommaso Ciampa, versus Mark Davis, versus Chris Jericho, and then other participants to be announced. Don't be shocked if one of them's Danny Garcia. Oh, but what about Ilya Dragunov in here? Would be a nice surprise, but he's not going to win. Thoughts on this men's Casino Gauntlet?
Why? Why are they doing this?
And you know a better question on top of all this? Why is MJF in this match and not in the world title match at All In? Has anyone cared to explain that one? I mean, boy, the AEW sickos are real quiet like church mice on that one, huh, bro? Like, this is a waste of MJF's time to have him in a worthless waste of time gauntlet match. Casino Gauntlet for a future AEW title match when he had just lost it a month ago to Kenny Omega, and MJF should be in the world title match with Omega and Ospreay. And it should have been MJF and Ospreay one-on-one, by the way, not Ospreay and Omega. And look at the piss poor build Omega and Ospreay have had going into All In. Who thought this was a good idea to have MJF in a Casino Gauntlet All In and not in the world title match? Like a guy like MJF, like basically a guy that is AEW, and you have him in a worthless Casino Gauntlet. Why?
I don't get it. Like, if this match should be going into the show as the world champion.
And he carried this company on his back for most of the year as world champion. And this is what you have him do at All In.
Yeah.
And I think he wins this, but why even have the match? This match is literally a waste of everybody's time. I don't even care for this match. I don't know who you got winning, but this match seems very predictable.
I'm actually going with a surprise entrant.
Okay.
Yeah, this may sound I'm gonna go with the surprise entrant. I'm gonna go with Jon Moxley.
You really think Jon Moxley's gonna win this?
And I'll explain why once we when we
He's
go
already
to
in a Continental Cup against Nigel McGuinness, bro. Why would he be in a Casino Gauntlet?
And I'll explain why when we go to him and Nigel.
Okay.
But I'm gonna go with Moxley here.
So speaking, which leads to Moxley and Jon Moxley, Nigel McGuinness for the Continental Cup, and a Continental Cup final for the AEW Continental Championship. Another waste of a time thing, this Continental Cup. Another waste of time concept lately in AEW. I have no words on this, bro. You have any comments on this match?
I don't get it. Like, why are you doing a Continental Cup in the middle of All In build, and when you already have a Continental Classic?
It defeats the entire purpose of a Continental Classic. That they have usually every December? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
And the 16 participants, man, my goodness, talk about a waste of a time tournament. Matt Sydal in there, Petrosero in there, Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong one-on-one. What are we doing? Orange Cassidy.
The same Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and Orange Cassidy that lost in this tournament, yet somehow are getting a trios title match.
Yeah, I guess you lose the match, you get a title match. I guess we're handing out title shots now like they're candy. What happened to earning a title shot? What happened to winning matches to earn a championship match or a title opportunity? No, someone loses. Oh, let's give him a title shot. What? But Moxley and Nigel. Jon Moxley, Nigel McGuinness for the Continental Championship and the Continental Cup final match. Who are you going with? I kind of go with because I went with MJF with Casino Gauntlet. I'm gonna go with I wouldn't be surprised if Moxley wins.
I'm going to go with Nigel.
Well, I mean, I go with Moxley because I don't think he wants to lose.
I'm gonna go with with Nigel because they're gonna want to give Nigel the hometown win. They're telling the story. He's overcoming the odds. He's making it to Wembley, and I think this match will be one of the openers for All In. It'll be one of the openers, and this is the Casino Gauntlet happens in the middle of the show, and I think this is where we see Moxley enter the match and wins.
So you mean to tell me we're gonna get Ospreay winning the championship from Omega, and coming in All In, we're gonna get Ospreay in the world title feuding with the Death Riders?
Yes, because they're still having Moxley involved.
God help us all if that happens. Are you kidding? Why?
because they're still having Moxley involved. They're still having the Death Riders involved in this angle. And you know for a fact, the moment Ospreay wins, Moxley's gonna demand the title shot. I think this is how they're gonna get to Moxley and Ospreay for the world title. He's gonna lose the Continental title. Moxley is. Then he's gonna enter the Gauntlet. He'll win it. Ospreay wins the World Championship, and then Moxley confronts Ospreay after the match, and you get Ospreay and Moxley at All Out.
So we're gonna have Ospreay and Death Rider Vortex coming at All In, right?
You heard it from me. I mean, I'm not gonna be shocked.
I mean, if it happens, I wouldn't be surprised either. But if it happens, you know where you heard it and who you heard it from.
Why not? You think Tony Khan is not gonna do this? Of course he would.
I wouldn't put it past Tony. I mean, with Tony Khan, I wouldn't put it past him with anything at this point, bro. Wouldn't put it past him with anything at all at this point, dude. So, all right. So we then go to the women's tag team title match: Divine Dominion of Megan Bayne and Lena Cross. They defend their women's world tag team titles against the Brawling Birds of Alex Windsor and Jamie Hayter. I think we get new women's tag team champions here. Oh, by the way, Script says MJF is winning the Casino Gauntlet and Moxley's winning the Continental Cup. Well, we'll see what happens, but
I think the reason I don't think MJF wins is because Andrade is there, and I think they cancel each other out.
That's a good point too, but
yeah, because I think they're gonna do the match with Andrade and Max at All Out. And I think this is where, they both cancel each other out from winning the Gauntlet. And that's how you do, and this is how you build towards Andrade and Max at All Out.
How you know?
Yeah. How you know?
I'm liking what Andrade's doing though with the how you know thing. I'm liking what Andrade's doing. But Scripps also says in the chat, I have an announcement. I am entering the Casino Gauntlet at All In. I mean, why not? That's how everyone enters the Casino Gauntlet. Oh, you mean the Royal Rumble scripts, bro? Where everyone announced, I'm in the Rumble, I'm in the Royal Rumble, and I'm going to throw you over the top rope, I'm going to go to WrestleMania and main event become the world champion, Yeah. Which is true. I'm officially announcing my entry for the Royal Rumble. And I'm going to win the Rumble.
Yeah, I'm winning the Rumble. I'm going to main event WrestleMania.
Hey, I'm in the Rumble. I'm going to enter the Rumble. I'm going to win the whole thing. And I'm going to throw you over the top rope. But I'm going to main event WrestleMania. I'm going to point at the sign. And I'm going to main event WrestleMania and become the world champion.
Amazing.
But yeah. Women's tag title match. I don't know who you're going with. I think we get the Brawling Birds winning the women's tag team titles here. Because they're in Wembley and Alex Windsor's from his UK descent. I think we get Brawling Birds winning the tag titles here from Divine Dominion.
I'm going with the Brawling Birds as well.
Yeah,
I'm going with the Birds. I think this is where they put the belts on. This is where you take the belts off of Megan and Lena.
And I think Megan Bayne should be back in the women's title picture.
Yeah,
I think it's time we do that.
Yeah, I think and plus this is both Jamie and Windsor are from England, so you get the big feel good moment with them.
Yes.
Because I assume Tony wants to have Ospreay and Windsor to be champions coming out of All In.
Yeah, because Jamie Hayter is British or Irish. I think
she's British. She's British. She's British.
Looks like a female. She looks like another copy of Becky Lynch. People call her.
She does have orange hair though.
That's true, but Jamie Hayter and Alex Windsor are both UK girls, so they're both from the UK. So, it would make sense to give them the titles. It's a feel-good moment. I would say give the titles to them. I don't know what more you could do with Divine Dominion as champions at this point.
I certainly hope that they don't have a face of more jobbers.
Yeah, I would say just give them to the Brawling Birds and have Megan Bayne back up in the main event scene in the women's title picture. Have Lena Cross at least in the TBS title picture. I think that's what they need to do with Lena Cross and Megan Bayne. Instead of this tag team vortex, which is so much bigger than that. Then Scripps comes in the chat. Who thought the name the Brawling Birds?
Apparently it's a name from the UK.
at first I thought Lyra Valkyria and WWE were sending cease and desist letters as we spoke.
Yeah. Maybe they do a bird entrance.
Yeah.
Tweet, tweet.
Tweet, tweet.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's their entrance for All In.
Tweet, tweet.
That would definitely get over.
Tweet, tweet. Ka. Tweet, tweet. Ka. Ka. Tweet, tweet. Ka. Tweet.
Yeah. Maybe they have bird-inspired gear. Who knows?
I don't know if they should steal Lyra Valkyria's bird wings entrance. I don't know about that. Then they'll really be sending cease and desist.
Maybe that'd be too far. That's not they don't need cease and desist there.
No, definitely not. Definitely not at all, bro. But we do get a Falls Count Anywhere match for the AEW TNT title between Kevin Knight and Darby Allin. Not long ago, they ripped off. Speaking of cease and desist, deserved to get cease and desist. AEW deserved to get cease and desist, and AEW ripping off WWE and AEW ripping WWE off blatantly. Remember the Jeff Hardy pyro accident incident before the 2009 Royal Rumble with the match with Jeff Hardy and Edge for the WWE title at the 2009 Royal Rumble? It was on SmackDown when Jeff was WWE champion. It was Jeff Hardy. They did the same spot with Darby Allin, but it was a ripoff of WWE. Like, the Jeff Hardy and Edge story was great. This is not. Like, you really have to go and rip off the Jeff Hardy Edge angle with this. This should be a good match, though, but it's like, again, am I wrong?
No. Like, why is Darby still feuding with the Don Callis family? Is what I want to know.
I gotta put this up here. Script says, I heard the Brawling Birds are not cleared to wrestle. They both have the bird flu. Oh my god. Oh man. But anyways, Kevin Knight and Darby Allin. I'm gonna go Darby here.
I'm gonna go with Kevin Knight.
Okay.
Because I think they do the feud with the Kevin Knight and Speedball coming out of All In.
Yeah, you could do that.
Speaking of Speedball, I predict he will also be in the Casino Gauntlet.
Yeah, he won't win either.
Yeah. He's probably going to be pinned by Moxley.
Could you imagine if all three members of the Not So Demand are in there?
Oh my god.
In the Casino Gauntlet?
No.
If it happens, you know where you heard it from.
Bro, I already don't want to see one Ricochet match or one Totally Leon or Bishop Khan match at All In. You think I could stomach two?
No. On the pre-show and the main show, bro?
Oh my god. Like, is it in Ricochet's contract that he has to demand to be on every show?
They call themselves a demand after all.
Yeah, he's demanding to be on every show, wrestle every show, every match.
But I just want to remind you of something. The Demand were trios champions for a week. For 1 week. I want you to remember that. The Not So Demand were trios champions in AEW for 1 full week. But we then get a three-way match for the AEW International Championship. Kyle Fletcher versus Konosuke Takeshita versus Kazuchika Okada. This should be good, and I'm going with Kyle Fletcher. This could have been Okada and Takeshita one-on-one, and Fletcher for somebody else one-on-one, maybe Speedball Mike Bailey. But I think Kyle Fletcher wins. I've been liking what he's doing. So I'm gonna go Kyle Fletcher to win this.
Yeah, I'm going with Fletcher as well. He just won the championship.
Yeah. There's zero reason to take the title off him now.
Yeah, he's just won the championship. He's just getting started. The belt. I think he has to retain here.
Yeah. It should be a good match. I'm going Fletcher. It could even steal the show.
Yeah, I think this could probably be the best match of the show. We got three incredible wrestlers in there.
Yeah, Okada, Takeshita, and Fletcher.
Yeah. So you can't go wrong with them. I'm gonna go with Fletcher here.
Who knows? Maybe it's one of the opening matches.
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah.
But
I'm going with Fletcher here. There's no reason to take the belt off of him.
I agree. I'm going Fletcher as well. I mean, I think Takeshi and Okada, like you mentioned about cancel each other out. I think Okada and Takeshi cancel each other out here in this match. I'm going Fletcher, Payne.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe we could see some dissension between Okada and Fletcher during the match. There's some dissension, like they're fighting over who wins.
And maybe this leads to Okada and Fletcher all out for the international championship. Who knows?
Mean, here's a scenario I could see. I could see Fletcher winning, but he steals the win from Okada. Like Okada, maybe he hits the Rainmaker, but then Fletcher, he shoves him out of the ring.
Yeah, he picks up the scraps.
Yeah, he pins Takeshita to win the match.
Yes. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that, which then leads to an all-out international championship match with Kyle Fletcher defending against Okada. I could see that. And tease tension with Okada and Fletcher, and Okada out of the Don Callis family. I could see that. I could see that. But I think we both got Kyle Fletcher on the board. And Script says, I demand Rico shit gets fired. Rico shit.
Oh my
god. It's not Ricochet, it's Ricochet.
I demand for the not so demand to be taken off of my television screen. Like, why are they getting so much screen time?
But come on now, bro. Trevor Mann says he's improved on the mic. Is Trevor Mann?
He's awful on the mic.
Trevor Mann says he's not here. Trevor Mann says he's not here to talk.
Like, why are they still giving him so much promo time?
But WWE never gave him any much promo mic time.
You see why?
And Ricochet was getting destroyed on the mic on Raw and on SmackDown on the main roster. He was getting destroyed like a fish in the ocean destroyed by sharks. He was saying, I'm not here to talk. And then you got others saying, well, shut up then. And they were bullying him and not allowing him to talk. You see why.
Yeah, he said that I'm here to talk.
Then Drew McIntyre says, well, shut up then.
You see why they don't let him speak.
My goodness. And then LA Knight cooked him on the mic, too. Don't forget LA Knight. And the Samantha Irvin thing. And Ricochet just stands there not defending his wife. He just stands there. Well, LA Knight is flirting with Ricochet's wife, Samantha Irvin. Remember, late 2022? Remember that on SmackDown?
And he just stood there like a mannequin.
He stood there for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah. The main event of All In, Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay. I'm gonna go with Will Ospreay. I think we get a new world champion in his home country. It makes sense.
I'm gonna go with Ospreay as well. Like this has to be like this is surely where they put the belt on it because they built him up for so long. At the start of the year when he came back in March at Revolution, he won the Owen after losing the one in the final last year. He won it this year. Honestly, my biggest peep with this, the biggest peep for me is that Ospreay. Honestly, for me, he's facing the wrong guy in the main event.
I 100% agree. The guy that Ospreay should have fought in this main event here was MJF, and that would have been it would have had the good match and a story. With Omega and Ospreay, it's just a match and no story. Like if you're running a wrestling business, if you're running a business, right? What do you go with? Omega and Ospreay? Yeah, it's a match of the year, banger match on paper, but there's no story. Do you go with that? Or do you go with Ospreay and MJF, where you're gonna get a good matchup, just like Omega and Ospreay, but the biggest difference is that MJF and Ospreay has a story to it. If I was running a wrestling business, I'd go with the second option, and I will die on that hill. That MJF should have went into Wembley this year as champion,
and you have a clear
Ospreay and MJF for the world title this year, all in one-on-one.
And you have a clear-cut heel and a clear-cut babyface.
Yes. Yeah, heel versus babyface, like basic wrestling storytelling 101. But you get face versus face with Omega and Ospreay. It works in wrestling before. It's better. I mean, it can work, but usually it's better face versus heel. Only the face versus face in some instances work, but usually heel versus face works. And they forced a Kenny Omega heel turn, by the way, bro. Did you see that?
Literally. Kenny Omega is trying to act like a heel.
Yeah, like if that's gonna work.
Yeah, like it's just so boring. It just doesn't work.
It should have been MJF and Ospreay. Anybody that says Omega and Ospreay was the right match is lying to themselves. We should have absolutely gotten MJF and Will Ospreay in the main event, and not Omega and Ospreay. And I don't understand that. And I will die on that hill. It should have been Ospreay and MJF instead of Omega and Ospreay. But I'm going Ospreay to win. What they do with him with his world title reign, it's all in the follow-up, and only time will tell. But do they even have a plan for Ospreay as world champion?
I mean, honestly, the plan should be Ospreay versus MJF coming out of All In. Like, why is MJF is carrying around his Triple B championship? Like, he's the real champion.
Yeah. If we don't do MJF and Will Ospreay at All Out for the world title, bro, I don't know what the fuck we're doing.
Unfortunately, I think they do Ospreay and Moxley at All Out,
Which is a mistake.
And they do MJF and Andrade at All Out. Honestly, for me, I think I could see a scenario where they book Ospreay versus MJF at World's End to determine who's the real world champion.
You could do that, but I would prefer MJF and Ospreay at All Out. Like, if you're gonna have Moxley win the Casino Gauntlet, you could do Moxley versus Ospreay for the title before All Out on a Dynamite. Like, do we really need it at All Out? Like, is it necessary?
No.
When it's a lot better off at All Out to do MJF and Ospreay, what should have been the match for All In. Like, if you're gonna do MJF and Andrade, and then Moxley and Ospreay at All Out in Chicago, at the Now Arena, I think they're in the Now Arena. It's in Chicago, right? Couldn't we get the matches flip-flop, like MJF versus Ospreay instead, and then instead Andrade versus Moxley? I know Andrade Moxley no story, but MJF and Ospreay should have been the match for All In.
Yeah.
Like, literally, can't we get the matches flip-flopped? Like, get MJF and Moxley flip-flopped? Like, I don't understand it. Like you take the title off MJF at Redemption, give it to Omega, just to do Omega and Ospreay at All In, because Tony Khan is a big fucking mark. And there's no story with MJF and with Ospreay and Omega whatsoever. There's no story. It's just the match. Like, literally, there's no story to it whatsoever.
Yeah.
We have Scripps in the chat even says about Kenny Omega, the worst heel turn I've ever seen. Well, it felt really forced.
Well, John Cena's heel turn last year happened.
Well, yeah, I would say that, yeah. When he low-blowed Cody Rhodes with The Rock and Cena selling his soul to The Rock after Cody told Rock to go fuck himself.
Yeah.
In Toronto at the Chamber last year. And you had Travis Scott, remember him?
Awful.
Yeah, Travis fucking Scott. Who carried around a fake hardcore championship, pretending to be some kind of champion, and giving Cody Rhodes a black eye at the Elimination Chamber last year, which was terrible. Then Script says next Samantha Bomb will be all elite. We'll see. Then Script says Ospreay will be a transitional champion only to put the title on MJF. Would you put it past Tony Khan to do that, bro?
Won't put it past him.
Really, with anything in this company, you can't put it past Tony Khan. He'll do anything. But that's the All In with the Sunday. I'm not looking. Like, if you forgot All In was this Sunday, I don't blame you. The build has been non-existent. Like, there's no excitement. I feel, honestly, bro, and this is a hot take, coming out of SummerSlam, WWE's been doing a lot more interesting and a lot more better coming out of SummerSlam than AEW has going into All In. I mean, tell me when I'm telling lies here. You know?
You're not wrong.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, you're not wrong when you say that.
I mean, you have NXT Heatwave even this Sunday. That feels more like a big deal. Just what Zilla fought to alone feels like a bigger deal than All In. When you have Zilla fought to the son of Umaga, who just started in NXT and WWE from paying his dues on the indies in his first WWE match, and an NXT's a title match at NXT Heatwave this Sunday. Like wrestling for the NXT title in a Fatal 4-Way, wrestling Grayson Waller, Cruz Montana, and Tony D'Angelo to champion the match. When you and Zilla fought to in that alone, when you have that be a bigger deal than All In, like, you don't find that to be a major issue. Like, how bad is it and embarrassing is it that NXT and Zilla fought to has a lot more attention and interest and talk than All In? Like, do you know how embarrassing that sounds? Yeah, this is something the sickos won't even talk about or think about. Zilla Fatu hasn't even been in WWE for a month. Not even a month. And this NXT Heatwave is talked about more than All In. What does that tell you? We get scripts in the chat too. WWE is counter-programming with AAA, Ola D. Caller, English translation, NXT, AAA, Heatwave, and NXT Heatwave back-to-back. Yeah, that too. And yet AAA will...
That was Worlds Collide.
The Worlds Collide, yeah, in Chicago. Yeah, I'm telling you now, if we get Usos and Lucha Bros at Worlds Collide, I know what show I'll be watching, and it won't be All Out. I'm telling you that right now. And then if we get CM Punk on there, dude, I'm telling, bro. You know, it just... What are your thoughts on this whole thing?
Like, definitely a Worlds Collide would be much more interesting than All Out, that's for sure. Unless the All Out build is actually good, which I doubt. Like, have you seen the build for All In? It would be probably worse for All Out.
And even if All Out has a better build, like, there's no interest in AEW. None. There's zero interest. Like, there's no story. It's just matches, no story. You know? But with NXT Heatwave, this, I don't know how you feel. I think All In will be better show. Do you think maybe Heatwave has the potential to be better?
Probably. I think so.
I think we have 5-6 matches for Heatwave? This is what Tony Khan should be doing. You know, there's a saying, less is more. Quality over quantity. Heatwave has, I can pull up the matches. 6 matches for NXT Heatwave this Sunday, August 30th, in Edinburgh, Texas, at the Burt Ogden Arena in Texas. August 30th this Sunday. 6 matches. And this is what Tony Khan should be doing. Instead of 9 matches. We have 6 for NXT Heatwave. Explain to me why Tony Khan can't do less is more? AEW gives you way too much. Unbelievable. NXT Fatal 4-Way, NXT Title Fatal 4-Way, Tony D, Grayson Waller, Cruz Montana, Zilla Fatu. I would not be surprised if Zilla Fatu wins his first match in the championship here.
Yeah,
What do you think?
I'm thinking Zilla wins this.
And do you think Tony D gets called up to the main roster after this?
Surely.
He's been there, what, for 5 years? I think he's ready. He's been ready.
It's not for him to call him up.
Yeah. Even if Zilla Fought 2 doesn't hold the title long, I expect Zilla on the main roster very, very soon anyway. Why not give him the NXT title for a few months, a cup of coffee, then he gets called up? I see nothing wrong with that. You could lose it to, like, who? Cruz Montana? Then Zilla gets called up before the beginning of next year, which I could see, especially with War Games, and I think we'll talk about that, but going Zilla Fought 2 win the NXT title. Kendall Gray and Kalani Jordan could also steal the show. They're wrestling for the NXT Women's title. I'm going Kendall Gray to retain. She just won the title. Again, just won it. Miles Bourne, Jackson Drake for the NXT North American title. I'm actually going to go Jackson Drake. And then Miles Bourne and Tavion Heights versus the Vanity Project. I think Miles Bourne and Tavion Heights retain. And then we get 2 more matches. Actually, 2 more women's matches. Jada Parker versus Natty, your favorite, Natalia.
I'm going to go with Jada.
Can I say Jada Parker's awesome?
Yeah.
I think Natty, not long ago, she compared Jada Parker to somebody that Jacob fought too.
Yeah, she's the female Jacob Fatu.
I don't know if I'd say that, but Jada Parker's very good.
Yeah. I'd like to see her win the NXT Women's title at some point.
Jada Parker?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's great. And I think Natty's now with NXT, which I think is good. There's nothing for her on the main roster. I think do you think this is a nice spot for Natty?
Yeah.
But I'm going to go Jada Parker win the submission match. It should be good. Could even steal the show. We'll see. Zarya and Ren Sinclair in a winner take all. Actually, no. Zarya, Ren Sinclair, and Kali Armstrong in a winner takes all triple threat match to unify the women's speed title and the women's North American title. I'm going to go Zarya.
I'll go Zarya as well.
Oh, but why? Oh, but you seem happy they're unifying the titles. Holy crap! Why are you unifying titles? Why do you want to unify the women's speed title, women's North American title? What, the women's speed title doesn't mean jack shit. The next thing is to get rid of the men's speed title. Why? Why would you do that? Too many titles.
The speed titles are useless.
It's like the 24/7 title.
Yeah, worthless. Like, who wants to win them?
And the women's tag title's worthless.
Does anyone watch Speed these days?
Isn't that show canceled?
Yeah, like is it like the titles on NXT now?
Yep. But I'm going Zarya to win. I think she's doing great work. I give it to Zarya. And you retire the speed title. That's what I'm doing. But who do you got for the rest of the matches? Kendall Gray, Kalani Jordan. I'm going Kendall Gray.
I'm going with Kendall. She can't.
And man, is she great.
It would be too soon to take the belt off of her.
Yeah. And man, is Kendall Gray fucking killing it. Miles Bourne, Jackson Drake. I think we get a new North American champion in Jackson Drake, who I think is great.
Yeah, they're pushing the Vanity Project hard. You're gonna have to have some gold on them.
Yeah, you got Jackson Drake, Maya Lockwood, and then Brad Baylor and Ricky Smokes at Swipe Right with the Vanity Project. I don't think Baylor and Smokes win the tag titles, but I think Jackson Drake wins a North American title. That I do think. But those are quick predictions for Heatwave. Do you think it could have the potential to be better than All In?
No, but maybe close.
What I wish they would do, Tony Khan, is have not so many matches. Like, you don't need 9, 10, 12 matches on a pay-per-view. That's overkill and it's too long. NXT Heatwave has 6 matches. That's what Tony Khan should be doing. Less is more. Quality over quantity. Like, if Tony Khan did this, I think the pay-per-views in AEW would be so much better off. But I do think All In, though, at the end of the day, will be better because if there's anyone that is Mr. Pay-per-view, it's Tony Khan. The build may be terrible, but if there's one guy that knows how to deliver pay-per-view more than better than anyone else, including WWE, it's Tony Khan.
Yeah.
And I think All In this year will be no different. Like, there's no doubt in my mind Tony Khan will put on a banger show. It's the build that sucks, but I think with the pay-per-view, I think it'll deliver. I think the pay-per-view, quality-wise, will be great. In-ring and everything else, I think quality-wise will deliver. I'm sure you'd say the same thing. But moving on with All In and NXT Heatwave, we had SmackDown last Friday. Not that good of a show. Had a nice streak of good shows, though this past Friday's specific episode was not that good outside of the main event with Kevin Owens and CM Punk. And Sami Zayn costing Kevin Owens his best friend the championship, and Punk retained. And then apparently SmackDown's taped tonight. Finn Balor, Gunther, Kevin Owens, if you read the spoilers, the main event of tonight's taped SmackDown is Kevin Owens, Gunther, Finn Balor triple threat #1 contender match for the WWE title. Sami Zayn caused a no contest and laid all 3 guys out and laid CM Punk out. Boo, why? You hate this, don't you? I actually don't hate this. You want to know why? It's because Sami Zayn, justice for Sami Zayn. He still hasn't gotten his rematch for the WWE title, bro. 9 days held the championship.
Yeah, 9 days. He defends it on a show that isn't even SmackDown. The WWE Championship is a SmackDown property, not a Raw property. And then he loses it at his first defense to CM Punk. Same CM Punk who his last match prior was losing the World Heavyweight Championship to Roman Reigns.
Yeah, at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And then Kevin Owens gets screwed over twice. I think this leads to Sami, Kevin Owens, CM Punk in a triple threat for the WWE title, possibly Sunday night's main event, or if not that, I could probably see it on an episode of SmackDown before Money in the Bank, because I don't think CM Punk is advertised for Money in the Bank, and he's the champion. And maybe either way, I don't know what you think. I could see Sami Zayn win the title back in a slimy, sneaky way. Because Sami Zayn's now a heel. He cost Kevin Owens the championship last week in Toronto. And Sami Zayn got booed out of the building. He hit Kevin Owens right in the face with the title, allowing Punk to retain. What do you think of this whole scenario?
I think it's a good one.
Yeah. We had Blake Monroe's debut botched last week. I did not like. Why? I don't know. Like, you advertise Blake Monroe's debut, and then you don't have her wrestle again. Like, she attacks Julia during Julia's entrance from behind, gives her a neutralizer, and like that was it.
Come on.
I don't get that at all, bro. But Kevin Owens, Kevin Owens, CM Punk last week was very good. They got a lot of time, by the way. Oh, we got the MFTs retain their newly won tag titles with Haku versus Damian Priest, R-Truth. Priest and Truth lost the rematch, and Damian Priest got frustrated. Can I smell a Damian Priest heel turn? I hope so.
Please.
But why do you want Priest to be on his own, and maybe as a heel you need tag teams?
This team has dragged Damian Priest.
But WWE apparently, according to WrestleVotes, wants to rebuild their tag division.
Sure.
Well, it's true. You get rid of the guns, Motor City Machine Guns in the New Day. And you want to rebuild your tag division? Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. But yeah, I hope this leads to Damian Priest on his own and going heel. I think it's time. Have him in the world. This guy's a former world champion. Should be back on his own. Though I don't know if Damian Priest is even going to be on Raw. Maybe he gets traded to Raw, and I'll explain why. After what we saw during Raw this past Monday. But also, we had Tiffany Stratton and Lash Legend on SmackDown, and Lash won clean. Why? What did they see in Lash Legend? Like, why? You know, I don't know. Anyways, but well, no, like, well, we won't waste too much time on that, but Trick. Oh, by the way, what are your thoughts on this, bro? Little Yachty and Baron Corbin announced a 5-minute match for Sunday night's main event, where if Little Yachty can last 5 minutes with Baron Corbin, Trick Williams gets his U.S. title rematch. Another Ari Emanuel celebrity friend.
Why?
What Adam Carl thinks on this and him being speechless, I don't blame him.
I'm speechless. Why? Why is Lil Yachty in the ring fighting for Trick Williams?
Yeah, we have Johnny Gargano on the crate. Carmelo Hayes not in a match on Sunday night's main event, but Lil Yachty.
I see why Ilya Dragunov didn't want to resign.
Well, TKO asked him to take a pay cut. I wouldn't be surprised.
Like, why are you bro? You mean to tell me you could put Ilya Dragunov in a feud with Baron Corbin coming out of SummerSlam?
Well, apparently, it's according to TKO, he doesn't draw.
Yes,
They have
because
a
Baron Corbin.
they have a Moneyball. They have a Moneyball thing. They have policy.
Yes, because Baron Corbin draws. Because the baddies draw.
They mean the not so baddies. You mean the not so baddies?
Austin Theory draws. The Vision draws. Apparently. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Speaking of get the fuck out of here,
Why is
Nakamura.
let me get this. Let me get this. So Trick Williams, he's feuding with Baron Corbin, but he needs his manager to beat Baron Corbin for him.
Like, make it make sense.
Like Trick Lil Yachty, like you're really gonna book Lil Yachty to beat Baron Corbin, but Trick Williams couldn't beat Baron Corbin in 2 matches. You know how stupid this is. It's not. This isn't realistic. This isn't believable.
Well, Lil Yachty actually takes it seriously, according to reports.
Even if he does. And hopefully he does. Maybe he can be decent out there. Maybe. Hopefully.
I mean, I hope I'm proven wrong, but
like, you mean to tell me like Trick Williams, like he loses 2 matches to Baron Corbin. He can't beat Baron Corbin, but Lil Yachty can. His manager.
Oh, but it's a 5-minute match and Corbin doesn't get pinned and he just lasts 5 minutes there with Baron Corbin. And hey, who knows? Maybe Lil Yachty is decent out there. If he's decent and I'm proven wrong, then fine. But right now, I don't see it.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope I'm proven wrong, but right now, until then, I don't see it right now. Honestly. But we did have a Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes back and forth, and Cody Rhodes mentioned that's not a prediction, that's a spoiler. I know, I don't think Paul Heyman's aligned with Cody Rhodes, but Orton and Cody, man, liking what they're doing. And proving why Ari Emanuel should not have got fucking involved in the Orton-Cody WrestleMania match with Pat McAfee. How dumb does Ari look now? And good. Good.
Good.
Fuck TKO. We also had on SmackDown oh my god. Shinsuke Nakamura has his new tag team partner, Hiromu Takahashi. Kaioki.
The former Hiromu Takahashi.
He's now Kaioki, bro. Shinsuke Nakamura and Kaioki.
What is this name?
Kaioki.
What is this name? Kaioki.
But it's a cool name, Kaioki. That sounds like a Japanese restaurant you go up to eat at. Hey, what do you want to go to eat? Kaioki. Any comments on this, bro?
Oh my god. Oh my god. What is it with these names, bro?
Oh, and actually, I'm looking up the meanings of Kaioki. Kaioki in Japanese means insanity or madness. It can represent a state of frenzy or intense, uncontainable passion. Yes, yes. I'm looking this up as we speak.
Oh my god.
Kaioki means insanity or madness.
So his name in English is Insanity.
Yeah, I go insanity with this stupid name. Who the fuck came up with that idea in the back? Kaioki. Like what? Like what the fuck? Like what the fuck, bro?
It was probably a Bruce Pritchard idea.
But Triple H is in charge, and Vince McMahon's not there anymore. That's the thing. Triple H is in charge, and Vince McMahon's not in the company anymore. Vince isn't running creative anymore.
You still have his poison running through this company.
Yeah, Bruce Pritchard, Michael Hayes. Those clowns. Those fucking snakes. No, but it's Triple H's team on the main roster. It's Triple H's team.
What team?
It's Triple H's team. You don't understand.
Well, his man is still dealing with Bruce Pritchard and Michael Hayes. These are the people that he's still surrounded with. Rats.
Yeah. My goodness. But my god, Kaioki. But you say, oh, what if they have a Black Friday release next year coming out of Mania? Don't be surprised if Kaioki is on the budget cut list. Like how Jeff Cobb was a budget cut list guy.
Yeah, they're gonna ask him to take a pay cut.
It's apparently it's either take a pay cut or get released. Or if you're not
so fucking stupid.
Or if TKO thinks you don't draw and they ask you to take a pay cut, either accept it all or get released. That's, you know how fucked up that is.
So
Vince McMahon had a birthday this past week and people want to celebrate his birthday. Yet he's the one that sold the company. If this was Stephanie McMahon and Triple H and them only, and Endeavor had absolutely nothing to do with it whatsoever, would you be seeing these releases? Would you be seeing wrestlers ask to take a pay cut? Would Dragunov still be there? Yes. Would you see these budget cuts or wrestlers ask to take a pay cut? No. I don't know. You wouldn't. I don't think you'd see that whatsoever at all. And good chance Sheamus is still there, and the New Day is still there, and Dragunov, Aleister Black, and Alba Fire / Kaylee Ray, and the Wyatt Six. And Dakota Kai and Cora Jade. I bet you they're all still there if this company wasn't in the hands of Ari Emanuel and TKO and Mark Shapiro. But yet Vince McMahon's the one that sold the company to his friend because he could not stand the fact that his family and anybody else, not him, runs the company better than him, and he couldn't stomach that anymore. Like, he could not let it go. Because that's how petty and selfish and spiteful Vince McMahon is. Oh, but he had a birthday. He turned 81 early this week.
I wish him the worst.
But he had his birthday Monday. Fuck his birthday. Fuck Vince McMahon's birthday.
Yeah. Who celebrates a birthday for a fucking sex pest?
Unbelievable. But yeah, SmackDown was basically last week a one-match show. And tonight's apparently taped. I'm hoping tonight's better, but it's a taped show. But
yeah.
We did have NXT this past Tuesday was okay for Boom show. We did have a nice video package for Zillafot too, saying he's not a nympho baby or nympho baby. He showed that Umaga necklace, and it was a nice vignette for Zillafot too. But it was basically it for NXT.
That was a good promo.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where he goes. Honestly, the man's paid his dues, and they showed his clips wrestling on the Indies. I think they showed his match with Amazing Red. I think in House of Glory.
Yeah, I believe.
They showed his, like, when Umaga was alive, his dad. Really good stuff. And then Dynamite this past Wednesday was a terrible go-home show. It was just boring. Monday Night Raw. This past Monday. Oh, before we talk about that, they did announce WrestlePalooza for Perth, Australia this middle of December. Thoughts on that? So for the first time since December 2020, WWE has a PLE in December.
So,
what are your thoughts on this?
let's hope it's much better than the last one.
Yeah, with Brock Lesnar destroying John Cena, which was not good. It was basically a one-match show, but it got a C rating from ESPN and Andreas Hale.
This was the right rating.
No, it should have been a B- if I was grading it.
It was C.
Stephanie Vaquero Io Sky was good. Usos and the Vision was good. McIntyre Cody was good. AJ Lee and Punk vs. Seth and Becky was good.
The only good match in here was Io and Stephanie.
What about the mixed tag match? Seth and Becky, Punk and AJ. That was good for what it was.
It was decent at best.
No, it was good. I liked it.
It was decent at best.
You had Brock
And
Lesnar.
who wanted to see the Vision versus the Usos part 800?
That wasn't part 800. There's a story there. Deal with it.
It was part 8,000. It is the same. It was the same match that we would see it on Raw every week in the lead up to it.
We had John Cena and Brock Lesnar in Indianapolis, which is a great wrestling city.
Yeah, and you squashed John Cena as if this was 2014.
Because it was. And yeah, it was a Michael Hayes idea, by the way. It was actually Michael Hayes.
You see why and you see why this. We see why we should have old has-beens running creative.
Well, fire Triple H then. He's another one. I don't think that wouldn't do anything. That wouldn't do anything.
That would be the worst thing they could do.
I mean, Triple H deserves the criticism. He gets the blame, but I think most of it is on the TKO because they do own the company. Yeah, Triple H just had a creative, he is the guy, but TKO just own the entire company. I mean, Triple H is to blame. I'm not saying he doesn't get the blame. He absolutely gets the blame, but I think the most of the blame goes towards TKO because they don't understand pro wrestling whatsoever. They wouldn't know pro wrestling if it hit them in the fucking face.
Yeah.
And you have old rat has-beens that worked with Vince, like Bruce and Hayes. A lot of the stuff that Vince worked with is still there. But it's Triple H's team there. You don't understand. Triple H's team is there. Yeah, by name. It's Vince's team there. Literally. But, yeah, WrestlePalooza in Perth, Australia. Should in middle December. Yeah, hopefully it's better than the one last year. and a much better crowd in Perth. The PLE would be early in the morning, though. I'm not going to wake up that early to watch, but it's a different time zone in Australia. But Perth, Australia is always a very good crowd. So hopefully this year's WrestlePalooza is good. I hope so. But we'll see. But we have not had a WWE pay-per-view or PLE in December since TLC in 2020. Remember that?
Yeah.
I think we had Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns in a TLC match for the Universal title. I think we had... I'm sorry?
That was a match.
Yeah, that was good. Didn't you have Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt in like an Inferno match there?
Yeah, this is where Randy Orton, like, he burned the Fiend, he burned the dummy.
And no, guys, he did not actually burn Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, he burned a dummy. It literally was a dummy because like Bray Wyatt is not small.
But it looked like Bray Wyatt. It wasn't. It may look like him. What?
It looked nowhere near him.
Like he lit a match, threw it at the fake doll, and it burned. It burned. But no, it's like they would never burn a human being alive. You know how much major, endless lawsuits they get.
Yeah.
That's like beyond pushing the envelope. We had like what, Asuka and Charlotte versus Shayna and Nia for the women's tag titles. We had Sasha Banks and Carmella for the SmackDown women's title. We had Drew McIntyre, AJ Styles, and The Miz in a TLC triple threat match for the WWE title, where Miz cashed in his Money in the Bank contract or briefcase. The Miz, remember that when he took it off Otis?
Yeah, he cashes it in. John Morrison gives the briefcase to the referee as if he's Mr. Money in the Bank. This is the match where Drew McIntyre and AJ Styles, they were laid out. They were unconscious. The Miz, he's fresh as a daisy. No one is around him. And he climbs up the ladder as if he's 110 years old.
He's like,
he climbs. This is the slowest climb to a ladder I've ever seen. Like, brother, you're fresh as a daisy. You're fresh. You haven't taken a bump. You're not damaged. You like just climb the ladder fast.
He's taking his sweet ass time. Oh, but he's the heel. You have all this fucking time. Climb.
Yeah. Like there's no one stopping you from unhooking the championship. And then like Omos, he holds him as if he's a toddler.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he throws him through the table.
And then Miz and AJ and Omos McIntyre all laid out, and Drew climbs a ladder and grabs the title hanging high above, and then he retains. Yeah, good way to make Miz and good way to make Miz look good right there. And then afterwards, didn't the decision get reversed and the briefcase was still with the Miz, even though it wasn't 1-on-1?
Yeah. This was the night he was pinned by Grand Metalik via roll-up.
Clean. Yeah, clean.
Yeah, and then after the match, backstage, he's given back the briefcase. This guy loses. This guy cashes in and fails at TLC. He loses to Grand Metalik on Raw. He can't beat a jobber. But then he's rewarded with his briefcase back.
Yeah, make it make sense, bro.
This is so stupid.
Speaking of The Miz, if you read the SmackDown spoilers for SmackDown tape tonight, they announced his match for SmackDown. I think they announced the match for SmackDown Friday, September 4th, SmackDown this year, for SmackDown the next week. Coyotes and Shinsuke Nakamura's tag team match in-ring debut against The Miz and Kit Wilson. Yay!
Great.
Yeah, The Miz. The Miz has not been on TV in weeks. And him and Kit Wilson are wrestling Coyote and Nakamura next week. Oh, joy. Oh, come on. Why are you not liking this?
Your debut match, you're establishing this two team, and your debut match is Kit Wilson and The Miz. The same Miz and Kit Wilson that were beaten by midgets.
And being cursed by Danhausen.
Yeah.
What were they tormented by midgets like Hornswoggle and El Torito?
Hornswoggle wasn't even on television. He didn't even dress up as a Meatyhausen. It was El Torito.
Yeah, El Torito. Remember him? The little bowl. Olay! With the fucking Los Mortadores, Diego and Fernando, the Primo and Epico. Man, was that terrible. And we also had SmackDown tape tonight. Chelsea Green and Tiffany Stratton versus Lash Legend Nia Jax. Yeah, who asked for that? JC Jane and Paige for the women's U.S. title. Nikki Bella is back, unfortunately. We got Tatum Paxley's in-ring debut versus Michin, one of the not-so-baddies.
We're going to get a trios match at Sunday night's main event.
Yes.
Jake Cargill, Michin, and BFAB against Tatum, Alexa, and Charlotte. Exciting match, I know.
The not-so-baddies on my television. Why are they getting TV time, and can we give all that TV time to Fatal Influence? Can we get the not-so-baddies off my fucking television? Like, what's worse, bro? The not-so-demand or the not-so-baddies?
Pick your poison. Like, it's still the not-so-demand. They're still bad.
It's like the female version of the not-so-demand, bro. Like, I don't know who demanded for this, bro. Did you demand for this?
No.
Why? But we did have Raw this past Monday. It was a good show. Raw this past Monday was a very good show. We did get Rey Fenix and Dragon Lee. Boy, man, was that a great fucking match. The best Rey Fenix has looked since joining the WWE. Rey Fenix and Dragon Lee fucking killed it on Monday.
Yeah, that was an excellent match.
And man, did you see that dive Dragon Lee did? Like, he does that dive, he puts the opponent over the announce table. Man, my God, that was crazy.
Yeah.
And Rey Fenix wins with a Mexican muscle buster. Absolutely right move and a banger match. Then we get Penta beat La Parka. Bro, we're getting the Lucha Bros in the Lucha Tournament Finals. Absolutely great move. And I'm glad they did this.
Yeah, we're getting the Lucha Bros. Yeah, one-on-one match. The first time they actually share a ring.
Yes. And I think they're wrestling next week, I think, in the Lucha Tournament Finals.
I believe, yeah.
And I think Penta wins, and we get Penta and Roman Reigns on Raw in Mexico City, September 14th for the World Heavyweight Championship. It's a banger incoming, bro. I'm telling you, banger incoming. Like this was some really good stuff. Like, I think Phoenix and Dragon Lee was the better match, but I'm just happy we're getting the Lucha Bros in the finals. I didn't think they'd do it, but they actually did it. Also Monday on Raw, the opening. Can I say Solo Sikoa is a national treasure? Done.
Yeah, this man is amazing.
Sorry. A little mucus, but I'm okay. But Jey Uso, this your warning shot. Man, Solo Sikoa doing the Matrix. I will be lying if I told you that wasn't hilarious and I didn't laugh my ass off.
My God.
Solo Sikoa's dude. He's a national treasure. I'm telling you. What'd you think of this opening?
This was great.
Yeah, Solo Sikoa's coming into his own. I liked it. Stephanie Vetcare and Roxanne Perez. This was good. Stephanie Vetcare did win, which was the right move. Yeah, Stephanie Betcare beat Roxanne Perez. I think we had a face-to-face with Becky Lynch, Stephanie Betcare. This feels like a women's world title program than the actual women's world champion. Facts. Don't even at me. Also on the show, the Big Cass defeated Javon Evans. What'd you think of Big Cass and Javon Evans?
It's making Big Cass look good, that's for sure.
But I feel bad for Javon Evans. He's made to look like a scrub out there.
Yeah, I think they need to change something with Javon. Like, I don't know what's happening with looking.
I mean, I understand he's young and you don't need to rush him, but you could also like give him something meaningful to do and start building him up. Like go ahead.
Honestly, for me, Javon should be the one to take the IC title off of Chad Gable months from now.
Yeah. Though it looks like we're getting Chad Gable and Ethan Page in a program now for the IC title, which I don't mind, and I'm happy to see Ethan Page back on TV with Rusev.
Yeah.
But, Javon Evans could deserve a little better on Raw. I do agree with that. But Big Cass did look good out there, and man, he looks in the best shape of his life. He looks absolutely incredible. I think he won with the East River Crossing.
Yeah.
But we did have a post-match where Evans got jumped after the match by Dominic Mysterio and JD McDonough. I think we also had Lyra Valkyria backstage with Sol Ruca and Io Sky. I think they announced for one of the matches for Raw next week, Raquel Rodriguez and Sol Ruca for the women's IC title. And then Penta versus Fenix, and then Roman Reigns returns next Monday on Raw. I'm sorry, I have to call out. Roman Reigns returns. Why do we need to have that? Roman Reigns returns. Just say Roman Reigns appears.
Yeah, like he was on the show like what, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, like why are we saying Roman Reigns returns? Like is this like his 100,000th return for Roman Reigns?
Barely.
Like what the hell is that? But Sol Ruca and Raquel Rodriguez next week on Raw for the women's IC title. I don't know how you feel. I'm giving that title back to Sol Ruca. Especially, and I'll tell you why. Lyra Valkyria with this thing with Sol Ruca lately. Have Sol win the IC title back. Have her feud with Lyra for the women's IC title, but Lyra keeps mentioning Bayley. If Bayley was gone, why are they mentioning... If Bayley is leaving, why are they mentioning her name? You know, something to think about. What are your thoughts on this whole thing?
They keep like if she was gone, they wouldn't be met. Why do they keep mentioning her all the time? They're having Lyra keep mentioning her like backstage or in rig segments.
Yeah, I don't understand that at all.
She's going after the IC belt.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. But yeah, I would give the IC title. What do you think? Give the title back to Sol Ruca, the women's IC title?
I think Lyra costs her.
Really? Because I think Sol Ruca lost it way too soon. Happy for Raquel, but I don't think it was the right time. And you could do Sol and Lyra, and if Bayley comes back and she feuds with Lyra, I think it'd be more impactful for Bayley to screw Lyra out of the IC title. Because if you just have Sol and Lyra one-on-one and Bayley costs Lyra, like, wouldn't it be a lot more if it's for an IC title and Lyra gets screwed by Bayley?
Yeah.
I would give it back to Sol Ruca next week. I don't think she should have lost it to Raquel to begin with. That's just me. But we also had a contract signing for Braun Breaker Obafemi. This was great. And they announced Obafemi versus Braun Breaker for Sunday night's main event. I'm not the only one who loved this. Usually these contract signings are very formulaic, just not good, boring. This was not one of them. And I like what they did here. Thoughts on this?
Yeah. I thought it was good.
Now, Breakker did attack Femi, and his partner Austin Theory joined him in the attack as well. But, however, the ruler broke the table on the way to ending the segment on the top. But, again, can we get Braun Breakker away from the Vision, please?
Please.
Yeah, the fucking Vision. As you'd say it. And then the main event of Monday Night Raw, LA Knight and Solo Sikoa versus the Usos. But we got a return and a heel turn and a main roster call from NXT. Royce Keyes and OTM out the mud. Bronco Nima and Lucian Price all show up on Raw. Lay out the Usos and Solo Sikoa LA Knight this past Monday on Raw. To end Raw. And they had any like face coverings and all this other stuff. I think it was like Jey Uso and Solo Sikoa got put through the barricade by Royce Keyes. And OTM attack LA Knight and Jimmy Uso. They lay them out, one of them through the announce table. OTM and Royce Keyes stand tall. And it looks like we got a new heel faction on Raw. And maybe Royce Keyes isn't the leader. But I'll tell you who may be. A guy who took out Royce Keyes on the Raw after SummerSlam. A guy who didn't even help Jay, Jimmy, and Roman last week. Jacob Fatu. Maybe he's a new leader of this new heel faction on Raw with Royce Keyes and OTM. Because Royce Keyes, OTM, Jacob Fatu, what do they all have in common? They all are from the West Coast. Maybe not the Bloodline, but the Oak Line, Oakland, California, the Western United States, the Oak Line heel faction on Raw. Thoughts? And I know, Adam Carl, you are so high on Crime Time 2.0 OTM.
Maybe this could get them over. Who knows? At least it's using Royce Keyes as like the guy in the group.
Yes.
Can we please, if you're gonna get OTM over, can you stop? Can we stop giving them the Crime Time gimmick? You're not Crime Time, okay?
I mean, I see some people compare them to Crime Time, but they're not JTG and Shad. They're not. They
have none of the charisma, the charm that make Crime Time work.
And Jada Parker is the better name than them.
If they need a repackaging.
I mean, in NXT, I do watch NXT. I'm not really that high on OTM, but at least, I mean, they look good. Their first night in a row, they look good. They look like dominant, threatening monsters, and at least now they have. I mean, NXT, I wasn't really high. I mean, I'm not really that high on them. They were from NXT. Now they're on Raw. At least now they have some direction with Royce Keyes, who also has direction, and which Royce Keyes. I'm sure you'd probably feel the same way. Royce Keyes, as a babyface, just doesn't work. As a heel, he's much better. Remember when they brought him in earlier this year, talking about his background, him growing up in the hood and the hard times growing up as a child and wrestling as an escape? It's almost, isn't it almost of the equivalent of, hi, I'm happy to be here? Which is a very small ceiling in wrestling. And honestly, he operates better as a heel than a babyface. Oh, but why Jacob Fatu the leader? He took out Royce Keyes and made him bleed. Why? Bronson Reed attacked Seth Rollins with 6 tsunamis, and Bronson Reed joined Seth Rollins in the Vision. Like, so what?
Yeah.
And Royce Keyes, I don't think is at that point in his career where he can lead a faction. Jacob Fatu, however, is ready to lead a faction. And maybe this bleeds the War Games. Jacob Fatu, Royce Keyes, and OTM in War Games against LA Knight, Solo Sikoa, and the Lucha Bros may be involved versus Roman, Jay, Jimmy, and Zilla Fatu 4-on-4 maybe for War Games.
Yeah, that sounds good.
But OTM looked good Monday. I don't know what you thought about this, but I think OTM looked good at least for the first night. That looked good. I mean, I'm not high in OTM, but this OTM with Royce Keyes and maybe Jacob Fatu pairing, I'll give it a chance. And they did look good out there Monday on Raw.
Yeah.
And this adds another tag team in the tag division, too, which they need tag teams.
Exactly.
So I don't know what your overall thoughts on this are.
I think it can work. I think it can get all of them over. Because it does make sense for Royce to target the bloodline. Because, I think one of the last times we saw on TV was like, Jacob nearly broke his neck. He was carried on a stretcher.
And LA Knight and Solo Sikoa didn't even help him, and they teamed with Royce Keyes at SummerSlam against Jacob Fatu and the Usos at Night 1 SummerSlam in Minneapolis this year.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense because when Jacob Fatu made Royce Keyes bleed the Raw after SummerSlam this year, LA Knight and Solo Sikoa didn't even help Royce Keyes out. So it kind of makes sense. And Royce Keyes, even in AEW, worked better as a heel. I think Royce Keyes is better as a heel than a babyface. As a babyface, I think it just feels very, very forced.
Yeah.
But do I think this could work? Absolutely. I mean, just they got to play the cards right, and it could work. And if they have Jacob Fatu as a leader, then we're cooking. Because I don't think Royce Keyes is ready right now at all to be a leader of a faction. And this is at least something different with Raw, a new heel faction. Something to think about. But overall, I did like this. I thought Raw was good Monday, and I did like the ending. And I'll give this OTM thing a chance, but we'll see where it goes. But that is the all the talk for episode 9 of Forbidden Podcast. Episode 40 next week, bro. But hope you guys enjoyed the video, and you guys are awesome. Thank you guys for showing up, especially Scripps here in the chat and all. Make sure you hit that like on the video, subscribe to FioriousNation, hit the bell for all notifications. Follow me, FiorioNick579 on X, Adam Carl, Adam Carl 2005 on X, Facebook, Nicholas_Fiore31, and Nicholas Fiore 2014 on Instagram, and then TikTok at FioriousNation as well. Appreciate you guys for joining us. Adam Carl, other words before we get out of here.
It was fun doing this episode. I'm glad to be back. Let's kicking and rolling again.
And episode 40 next week. 40 episodes with next week, dude. September 4th. So, yeah. But we hope you got. But guys, have a good rest of your Friday. We'll see you next week for episode 40. It's September 4th of the Forbidden Podcast. Have a good rest of your Friday. See you next week for episode 40. Peace.